Welcome to our deep dive on the Winchester Mystery House.
Yeah, the Winchester Mystery House.
It's that place where staircases lead to nowhere and doors open to brick walls.
Right.
It's a really fascinating place, and we are going to go beyond the ghost stories today to uncover the real enigma. Sarah Winchester herself.
Yeah, she is a very interesting figure in history, and it's easy to get caught up in all the spooky stories.
Right.
But the house itself is a physical manifestation of a fascinating life.
Yeah.
I mean, Sarah Winchester wasn't just a grieving widow, you know. She was a woman of immense wealth,
Right.
intellect, and maybe even a touch of the esoteric.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Most people know the very basic story.
Right.
Winchester rifle heiress,
Yeah.
tragic losses, and then this sprawling mansion starts appearing in California.
Right.
But where did this whole legend of a spirit-plagued house even come from?
Well, the most sensational story, and the one that's really kind of stuck around the longest, it involves a medium by the name of Adam Coons. Legend has it that he told Sarah that her family was cursed by the spirits of those killed by Winchester rifles,
Oh, wow.
and that the only way to appease them was to build, build, build.
So she just had to keep building to appease these spirits.
That's the legend.
Okay, and so this Adam Coons guy, was he legit?
Well, and that's where things start to fall apart.
Yeah.
There's actually no historical evidence that Adam Coons even existed.
Oh, really?
This tale seems to pop up long after Sarah's death.
Huh? Interesting.
Yeah.
So no ghostly contractor then?
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it.
But the house itself is so bizarre it practically screams haunted mansion.
It really does. Yeah, and you think about the number 13, for example.
Okay.
That pops up constantly throughout the house.
Okay.
13 steps on staircases, 13 paned windows, even 13 bathrooms.
Oh.
Now, on the surface, that seems like spooky coincidence.
Right. It really does.
But there's a deeper layer here. The number 13 holds significance in certain esoteric traditions, like Rosicrucianism.
Okay.
They believed in a hidden order within the universe, reflected in numbers and symbolism.
Okay.
And guess what else?
What?
The number 13 is a key part of the Fibonacci sequence,
Oh, wow.
that mathematical pattern found throughout nature.
So are you saying that Sarah Winchester, the grieving widow, was secretly a math whiz with a thing for secret societies?
Well, it's an interesting possibility, isn't it? And we haven't even touched on the architectural quirks yet.
Right.
Doors that open to blank walls, staircases leading to ceilings. I mean, some people see these as attempts to confuse spirits.
Right.
But what if there's something more? What if they're intentional disruptions of space and expectation?
Okay, now my mind is officially blown. So if Sarah wasn't just running from ghosts, who was she? And what was she trying to accomplish with this massive, ever-evolving project? So we've got secret societies and mathematical mysteries and a house that seems like it's straight out of an M.C. Escher painting. Where do we even go from here?
Well, to really understand Sarah's motivations, we need to look beyond the ghost stories and actually consider the people that she surrounded herself with. And one name that keeps popping up is Henrietta Sievers.
Okay, and who is Henrietta?
So Henrietta was a close friend of Sarah's, and she actually lived in the Winchester Mystery House for a while.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And according to Henrietta, Sarah wasn't the reclusive, fear-driven spiritualist that the legends often portray.
Wait, so the seances and the constant fear of vengeful spirits, that was all made up?
Well, Henrietta claimed that Sarah never participated in seances and wasn't particularly interested in spiritualism. She described Sarah as a practical, intelligent woman, fascinated by architecture and design.
Okay, so if not fear, then what was driving her? What was she trying to achieve with this constantly evolving home?
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
Some researchers believe that she might have been drawn to the ideas of Francis Bacon.
Francis Bacon, wasn't he a philosopher?
Yeah, he was a philosopher, but he was also rumored to be a Rosicrucian and a Freemason.
Okay.
And Bacon believed in hiding messages and symbolism within text, what we might call ciphers today.
Okay.
And some scholars think that Sarah might have applied this concept to architecture, creating a house that was essentially a three-dimensional cipher.
So the Winchester Mystery House wasn't just a home, it was a giant puzzle box. Maybe even a message to the future.
Exactly.
But what kind of message would she want to send?
Well, that's where things get really interesting. One intriguing theory revolves around the concept of the sanctum.
Okay.
In Rosicrucian tradition, the sanctum was a central room, a place for meditation, study, and connecting with a higher power or knowledge.
Like a secret chamber of wisdom hidden within the labyrinth of the house. I like where this is going.
And remember those unusual rooms we talked about with the strange layouts and the recurring symbolism?
Right.
Some researchers think that these rooms might have functioned as Sarah's personal sanctums, places where she could escape the pressures of her wealth and the scrutiny of society.
So instead of just trying to outsmart ghosts, maybe she was building a space to explore her own inner world, to connect with something larger than herself. It's a completely different way of looking at the Winchester Mystery House.
Exactly. And if we consider the possibility that Sarah was influenced by figures like Francis Bacon and esoteric traditions like Rosicrucianism, it adds a whole new layer of depth to her story. This wasn't just a random assortment of architectural oddities, it was the product of a sharp mind, perhaps even a deliberate attempt to create a lasting legacy.
It's mind-boggling to think that this house, which has captivated people for over a century with its ghost stories and strange design, might actually be a reflection of Sarah Winchester's intellect and her exploration of profound philosophical and spiritual ideas.
And here's something else to consider. If Sarah was intentionally embedding symbolism and hidden meanings within the house's design, it's possible that we haven't even begun to unravel all of its secrets.
Okay, now that's a thought that will keep me up at night, but in a good way. It's like we're trying to crack a code that's woven into the very fabric of the house.
Right, and just like any good code, the Winchester Mystery House has layers upon layers of meaning.
So where does that leave us? How do we even begin to separate the myth from the reality of Sarah Winchester?
I think we have to approach the house as an artifact, not just of Victorian architecture, but of Sarah's mind.
Okay.
Each door that leads nowhere, each staircase that climbs to a dead end, they're all clues. They point towards a woman fascinated by space, by symbolism, and perhaps by the idea of challenging conventional thinking.
It's funny, we started this deep dive thinking about ghosts and hauntings, but now I'm seeing the Winchester Mystery House in a whole new light.
I think that's really the magic of it. It's a testament to her enduring mystique, that over a century after she started building it, we're still trying to decode her intentions.
Yeah.
Was she trying to communicate with the universe with future generations, or simply with herself? We may never know for sure.
But isn't that part of the allure? This house, with all of its secrets and contradictions, it forces us to confront the unknown. It challenges us to look beyond the surface and question our own assumptions.
Precisely. The Winchester Mystery House isn't just a collection of strange rooms and architectural quirks. It's a reflection of a complex, brilliant woman who dared to defy expectations and build a world of her own design.
So what's the final takeaway for our listeners? What do we want them to remember about Sarah Winchester and her enigmatic mansion?
I would say remember that sometimes the most fascinating stories don't have easy answers. The Winchester Mystery House, much like Sarah herself, remains an enigma. But within that mystery lies a powerful invitation to keep exploring, to keep questioning, and to never stop searching for the deeper meaning behind the things that captivate our imaginations.
That's a beautiful way to put it. And who knows, maybe somewhere within the winding hallways and hidden rooms of the Winchester Mystery House, there are still secrets waiting to be discovered. Perhaps one day, someone will finally unlock the code and reveal the true depths of Sarah Winchester's grand design.
I hope so.
Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the Winchester Mystery House. We hope this journey has inspired you to look beyond the surface and discover your own interpretations of this architectural marvel and the woman who created it